places that Charlie Manson stayed at when he was like 5 or 6 years old after his mom was released from prison. She went to work at a place called the Blue Moon Cafe, and he lived over top, him and his mom. So that's what we're going to look for now.
Like Sheila said, we're looking for one of the home places of Charles Manson when he was a little boy. We'll tell you how Charles is connected to Hatfield-McCoy Museum and all, if he is, and so forth when we get there. But we are in Knott County, Kentucky.
Yeah.
We're on Highway 550, and it's in between Hindman, Kentucky, and Mousy, Kentucky. Should be right here top of this hill off to the right. When we get to the top of the mountain here, it used to be called the Blue Moon Cafe, or Blue Moon Restaurant, or Blue Moon Nightingale, or whatever you want to call it. It was I believe this is it coming up here on the right.
There it is, yeah. It's coming into view. See, it goes all the way back through there. Right here. Boom. There it is.
And we're here.
Yep.
So you can turn it off for a second till we get set up.
I'll put you right back. Hi guys. Like we said earlier, we found one of the places that Charles Manson stayed at when he was around 5 or 6 years old. This used to be the Blue Moon Restaurant, whatever you want to call it there. So let's go in and see what we can see. Wow.
It was a Blue Moon Cafe. There's several YouTube videos about this place.
The board's
And I'm going to watch
yeah.
where we walk. Of course, they've got the usual writing on the walls and the buildings run down. This was the restaurant part of it, and evidently they had a house of ill repute beside of it, and also upstairs. Charlie Manson and his mother evidently lived upstairs. Now Sheila and I, neither one, are historians on Charlie Manson.
Right.
Or his history or anything like that. We are going to go over his genealogy here in a little bit, and may give you a explanation as to why we're even interested or doing a story on Charlie Manson.
Okay.
Just watch where you step.
Yeah, I know that. See, there's holes in the floor, guys.
And
wow, look at this. Be interesting to see pictures of it back then when it was new, you know, up and going. This here, I don't have a light, so you really can't see back in here. It's kind of dark. Let's see if I can get.
fall later.
All right.
Let's go over this way first. They're out there weed eating.
There you go. And then you've got all this stuff here. Yeah, wow. Gotta watch where you step for sure. Some of these boards are really loose.
That's Charlie Manson's shoes. You think?
No, I do not. There's another
Too big for a
bathroom.
little 5'4" guy, ain't he? He was all feet one.
There's the stairs that go up. Lines.
We're not going to
Yeah.
stay here long. We just wanted to
Wow.
make the journey
Yeah. Wow.
to say we've been here and come firsthand to do a video for you. The interesting part's going to be when we get to the genealogy of it all, and how Charlie Manson is connected to the McCoys and the Scotts.
Okay.
You know, Scotts is a big name in Pike County. There's a lot of Scotts, and along with McCoys, and that's what this is going to. This.
Wow, can you believe you live here?
No doubt, he has run up and down these hills, and anybody that's ever been in the mountains as a child, that's what you've got to do, is you've got hills to run on and creeks to run in, and that's what we do as kids. We didn't have the...
Well, these steps are like leaning
Yeah, watch yourself.
in the wrong direction.
And of course,
unplug that electric heater.
What's in there? Can you see if you know?
Lock the door,
no, it just looks like the attic. Probably where she... I won't speculate.
Yeah, we don't know.
But, you know, Sheila and I was talking on the way up here, guys. You know, Charlie Manson, they ain't nobody got nothing to say good. Nobody's going to be taken up for Charlie Manson.
Right.
And I've compared Charlie Manson many a time to Devil Anse Hatfield. And I'll read you something after a while that will maybe give you a better understanding how I compare the two. In fact, one of the wardens, when he was in probation, when he was in a reform school, one of the wardens, the reformatory superintendent, said Charlie Manson was mean as a snake. And it reminded me and Sheila of Devil Anse's mother, how Devil Anse got his nickname. She said he was mean as the devil himself. Now, a lot of people over the years have said that Devil Anse got his nickname from taking on 100 soldiers and
Right.
this and that. But he got his nickname from his mother said once that he was mean as a devil. He was mischievous, and that's what they said about Charlie. Said Charlie was mean as a snake.
Look at the wood here in the ceiling where they tore down the tiles and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the guy out back here and see who owns this. I don't know if he does or not. Looks like it's on his property.
Wow.
Don't fall. We're gonna go down the stairs.
Okay.
Sheila, you go ahead and film. I'm gonna go out there and talk to him. Don't fall to the floor.
Okay. What's over here? What's this room over here? Oh, it's the bathroom. Okay. That's gross. Wow. This is something else. That he actually lived here when he was 5 and 6 years old. Wow. I would love to see pictures from when this place was up and going, you know, to see what it actually looked like. It's got a lot of rooms here. To where they could have their dinners or whatever, and then of course the upstairs. Wow, people have tore this thing all to pieces though. That is crazy. That they would damage something like that. Which I don't know. Wow. Sad. See, they knocked down the walls, but Wow. This is really cool. Let's see. Did we go through the other side over here? I don't think so. I think we started to, and then I didn't, because you can't really see stuff in here. So, which really there's not a whole lot to see. Looks like there's some. Let's see. And then of course back through here.
He said, watch for snakes.
Oh, snap.
He said, no problem looking around, but watch for snakes. I said, don't tell me that. I'll be heading out of here.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to find no snakes. Look, this door shattered all to pieces. The floor's falling through. Look at that. You can see through up there and outside. That is crazy. Oof. Lord, I don't want to find no snake, which it's cold. I said it's cold, so.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's the cold that.
You won't find anything there? Interesting. Wow. Wow, look at that. Have you seen back in here?
Who?
Have you seen back in here?
Was there anything back there?
Just a bunch of junk.
Okay. Yeah. So stuff.
You know,
in it.
yeah.
That's probably.
Well, I mean, people have destroyed a bunch of stuff, and I don't know what this is here, wood or something.
Probably here when he was here.
Panels. I don't think I'd open that. You might find something you don't want to find in there now. But yeah, here's another little. Here's a TV and a little baby thing in here. Wow. Oof. People have destroyed this. They have totally destroyed it. That's sad.
All right, babe, if you want to take a break,
Alrighty.
we'll look around.
Look at this wall here.
Yeah.
I have plenty of windows, so that's cool.
Anything else you want to get in here?
I took some pictures that I'm gonna put at the end of the video and stuff.
The gentleman next door says that there's an attorney here in Heinemann that owns this place. Says it is for sale. And says he don't mind if people look around.
Yeah.
He says that Charlie Manson's mother did live here at one time, and he was with her. Said he was a little boy, of course, we knew that.
Yeah.
And we're going to do an entire setup on it. In fact, if you want, just come out here on the porch and let me get the board out. Let's get set up here. Guys, here's what Sheila and I are doing here today. This is the board that we have in the museum of Charles Manson. And what we want to go over, she'll take pictures of this where you can read it for yourself. We'll probably go over some of it, but here's what we're basically looking at. No name Manson.
Yeah.
And his grandparents, great-grandparents. If you'll look down here, his great-grandparents was Perry Klein and Elizabeth McCoy.
Okay.
We got some other people showing up here evidently to hello.
Hey, how are you all?
All right, how you doing?
I don't know how you doing.
Are
Yeah.
you? Well, there ain't much to see, but it's supposed to have the history to it. You can film.
Okay.
All right, that's just other people wanting to see it.
Yeah.
No, we ain't looking at it. We're just looking. We drove by here a million times. We just drove by to look.
Okay, guys, we're going to be cutting her short here pretty soon. Well, this is somebody should buy this place and make a historical site out of it because it's busier than Grand Central Station. Huh?
It is busy.
Yeah, we can't. We had plans to do a video on and stand there and narrate it, but I don't think we're going to be able to.
Somebody knocked down.
Who? Lord, yeah. Hey, let's put that in the museum. That come from Charlie Manson's place.
Leave that stuff alone.
No. Let's keep it. It ain't nothing in it. Open that door. Well, here, I'll put it in a minute. Yeah, that'd be something we can. That come from Charlie Manson's place. Yeah, you can't see nothing. Back up underneath the floor. We've been all around it. Bud Light. Who would drink that? The guy said, watch for snakes. What's that, a cigarette lighter? Oh, razor. Cigarette lighter. I don't know what it is. Shoes, socks, beer bottles. I don't know what that is. A sock. Look here. Look at that.
Holy cow.
Old Prince Albert can.
Yeah.
That's hard to tell how old that is. I like to have a rake. Yeah, it's hard to tell what. I don't think nobody's looked at the porch. I think everybody goes in. What was that? Frog or something, ain't?
What was it?
I don't know. There's something. I picked up that board and something moved down there. It might have been a snake curled up trying to stay warm.
Oh, snap.
Okay, well, guys, I think that's going to conclude. I'll tell you where we're at. What's that say? Fraser. F-R-A-S-U-R Lane. 34. Fraser Lane.
Yeah.
It's where we're at. We're at the top of the hill here on 550. Not hard to find at all. If you come down 80 from Hazard, between Pikeville and Hazard, come to that, what is that, Quick Mart?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
And turn there on 160 toward Hindman.
Yep.
And take 160 toward Hindman down to 550 and turn left and come up the hill here on either side.
On either side, yeah.
And we're going to finish this video and Charlie's history. We may finish it at the museum, or we may finish it when we're going to tomorrow. This has been an all-day adventure to get here.
Yeah.
And some of the stops we made along the way.
Yeah, we was just out.
And we've got another trip planned for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to be going to Charlie Manson's biological dad's gravesite, which just happens to be where, Sheila? At the same cemetery as?
Oh, as Jim McCoy and
Floyd.
So,
Jim and Floyd McCoy in Catlettsburg.
Yep.
He's right down. The last time we were there and we done a story on Jim McCoy and Floyd, after we left, we realized that Charles Manson's dad was right just one row down from their grave.
Yep, to the left you'll see the Hatfield-McCoy historical marker.
So we're going to go there.
Are their graves.
And we're going to film that. We're going to go to a couple of the houses that he lived in.
Right.
One of the houses that his uncle lived in when he was stabbed 19 times.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie Manson was a lot like Daniel Lance. Charlie Manson killed a lot of people.
He did.
But yet, never killed nobody.
Exactly.
Killed a lot of people, but yet, he never killed nobody. If you talk to Charlie, or if you talk to, look at court records and all this and that, but he had the influence. He could influence other people, couldn't he, Sheila?
They were doing his work for him.
And who else? Now, who else? Who's that make you? I know you get mad at me sometimes when I compare people to certain people, but who's that sound like? That's Devil Lance Hatfield. Devil Lance Hatfield could get people, and I know we're here on a different story, but he could get people to do anything he wanted. And same way Charles Manson was. So don't say that there's not manipulators out there. Don't say there's people out there that can't get things done. Look at that old coffee cup. And because they are. And like Sheila and I was talking in there a while ago, you know, they Charles Manson's nothing to try to take up for or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to. But Charlie Manson is a product of his mother and society at the time, and how they let that young man fall through the cracks. And he was just neglected to no end. He was in his first reform school when he was 8 years old. And his uncle or somebody told him never go to a Yankee school, and they put him in school, and he tried to burn it down. He set fire to it. So his first charge there was arson. Went to reform school, and he stayed in reform school until he became adult, and he out and in, just trouble after trouble. And
Been in trouble all his life.
Been in trouble all his life. And his mother was in trouble all her life, which was all of his. And so he is just no excuses. Not covering for Charlie,
No.
but he
you can understand why
he was dealt.
the way he is.
He was dealt a sad hand.
But you can take most gentle dog there is, the sweetest dog there is, and you can work with it and make it attack you after a while. You can make it an attack dog.
Of course.
And make it more vicious than anything.
Take a pup, a freshly born pup from any kind of canine, any kind of dog, and stick it with a wolf or a coyote mother and let her raise it with a pack of wolves or coyotes, and see what he turns out to be.
Learns their ways, and yep.
So all right guys, we're going to finish up here, and we'll see you at the museum. But back then, according to history and according to legend, and according to some of the people we talked to, including the gentleman we just talked to that lives there nearby, it tends to support all the history we've read or watched on YouTube. Again, there's better YouTube videos out there than what Sheila and I are probably going to make.
Exactly.
I heard you going to say something.
Yeah, so I was going to say, yeah.
And so you may want to go watch them for the Charlie Manson part of it, or the history part of it, or things like that. The part we're covering is the fact that Charlie Manson's great-grandmother was a McCoy.
Yeah.
Her great-grandfather, his great-grandfather, was a Klein. And his father was a Scott. And those are some names in Pike County that's well known. That's a lot of the names from the Hatfield-McCoy feud. Now, Elizabeth was the daughter of John McCoy. We'll go ahead. I was going to go over this back there on that board, but I think some of it Sheila and I can go over without the board. But John was the son of William McCoy. Now, William McCoy, Archibald was the first one, and then William McCoy. Of course, Archibald fought in the Revolutionary War and was given some land. They gave you land if you fought. The only land that was available back then was in Kentucky. So he got so many hundreds of acres in Kentucky, and he moved his family to Kentucky. And of course, William started producing from there. And William had Daniel. Now, Daniel was the father of Randall McCoy and Asa Harmon. And William had Samuel McCoy. And Samuel McCoy was the father to Uriah McCoy, my great-great-grandfather. Sarah McCoy, which was Randall's wife. Asa McCoy from West Virginia, that was Selkirk McCoy's father, and so forth like that. John McCoy was Samuel and Daniel's brother.
Right.
And of course, you know, Charlie's not in our direct line. Charlie is in the line from John McCoy, which would have been the Samuel to brother, or the brother to Samuel and Daniel.
Right, right.
And John had Elizabeth. Elizabeth married Peter Klein, which was the son of Jacob Klein, and he was the brother. Hey guys, we're just going to continue on. This video here is probably going to turn up somewhere in between the Knott County video of where Charlie Manson, where the Blue Moon Cafe is, and where we go to Ashland, Kentucky to see the grave sites of his uncle, Darwin, his father, Colonel Walker Scott, his grandmother, Gladys, and grandfather, Henderson Scott. We went to the graves. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. We didn't get in till about 3 o'clock this morning. Doctor's appointment yesterday, so we got a late start. I wish we would have waited till today to went, but we didn't. It got dark on us. You'll see it on the video there.
Yeah.
So we didn't get, well, we went to them, but by the time we took the pictures, some of them didn't show up that good. So Sheila will show you a regular picture of where we were at and what it looks like.
Right.
What we're discussing today, we're just going to do a couple of things here at the museum, and then she'll add the rest of the videos in.
Right.
And again, this is one of the boards that we have in the museum on Charles Manson. She'll close in on it after a while. Now, let me explain something to you. Out of all the videos that Sheila and I have ever done, if there's a mistake on one, this is probably going to be it.
Yeah.
We are not Charles Manson fans. We are not followers. We are not anything to do. That's never been nothing to us. It's an interesting history, but where I'm bringing this in at is because a lot of people says, "Oh, Fred, you're awful hard on the Hatfields." No, I'm awful hard on Debunking, Hatfields, and him and his family back then, back during the feud years. Not the Hatfields today. Again, we met George House, which is Debunking's great-great-grandson. He's got a House name because his mother or great-grandmother was actually Debunking's daughter, so she married a House. But one of the nicest people, all kinds. We've met several nice people over the years, and Sarah Ann, including one of our best friends for the time that we knew him, Stephen Hatfield.
Okay.
But I've always said, and we done a video on this a while back, but it's not going to be as in-depth as this video, because this video, we take you to Knott County to show you where Charlie Manson, during his early years, 5 to 8 years old, somewhere in that range, where he lived, over top of that Blue Moon Cafe. Sheila takes you all through it, showing you what it looks like today. It's still standing, and still drawing plenty of attention.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to show how the genealogy, and we are by no means genealogists. Again, if we ever made a mistake on a video, it's probably going to be in this one. So if you find a mistake, please don't hesitate to notify us, and we'll correct it, especially if it's important enough to correct. If it's some little minor something, we didn't do the best videos, did we, babe?
Right.
We're not video makers. We just try to spread the history and correct history. And ours is not a real production thing that we know where to insert this or insert that.
We're amateurs.
At the end of this video, Sheila will have a bunch of genealogy that we've taken off the internet that anybody can, and it's usually from Find a Grave or Wikitree, and you guys know that how I feel about them. You can add anything you want, people can, or take anything away, and so you read that with caution.
Yeah.
What we tried to do was contact Bob Scott from Pike County. Bob Scott owns the Randall-McCoy property where the well is, and of course, him being a Scot, being from Pike County, we followed down some history here from Garfield, and I think Julius and Blanky and all these Banky, and whether that ties in to that line, I'm not sure. I can't figure it out. Again, I'm not a genealogist, but I was wanting to check with Bob because he could tell us what relation he is to Colonel Walker Scott, or if he is any relation. And but I couldn't find a contact number, so that's how that. So Sheila and I went up there, and but nobody came out during the time that we were there. So couple of little small things that we will correct right off the bat. Nothing big, but over the years, a lot of people, there's a lot of videos, and Sheila pointed that out, that there's a lot of videos better than Sheila's
Way
the one I did.
much better.
Yeah. If you want to know Charles Manson's history, if you want to know his, and you can go to them. There's thousands of videos on Charles Manson. We know that. What we're covering today is Charles Manson's genealogy and his relationship to the Scotts, to the Kleins, to the McCoys,
Yep.
and possibly even the Hatfields. The Hatfield line, I think would come in a line after Charlie, maybe. But there is Hatfield-McCoy history there. So you've got all four people that was involved or was around during the feud, Hatfield-McCoy feud. On Kathleen's Charlie Manson's birth certificate.
Right.
And you'll see a picture where Sheila and I went by there, by the house that she lived in when she was pregnant with Charlie.
In 1933.
1933. And of course she gave birth to Charlie November the 12th. Now you'll see a lot of videos and they say November the 11th. Well, November the 10th is Marine Corps birthday. November the 11th is Veterans Day. And I thought how ironic that he was born on Veterans Day, but he was actually born on November the 12th. And we know this from his birth certificate. And she will show this as a close-up where you can look over his birth certificate, or you can Google Charlie Manson's birth certificate and death certificate. Everything comes up online. You don't have to watch our video to see that. One thing that's on here is that it's got Kathleen as 18 years old.
Right.
Well, she was actually, some videos and people and research says she was 15 when she got pregnant. She was either 15 or 16 when she got pregnant. Actually, she lied about her age for Charlie's birth certificate. Because when she gave birth, here it is, Kathleen was, birthday is January the 11th. That's my birthday, not 1918, but that's January 11th.
Right.
1918. And if you'll do the math to 34 when he was born, she was 16 years old. Now let's go Colonel Walker Scott, May the 11th, 1910.
That's his birthday.
He was 24 years old. If she was 15 years old, you know, there's a thing in the movie where they got Perry Cline at the end of the miniseries, the History Channel, and they got him flirting, even though Perry Cline was an honorable person and nothing to ever say anything about anything like that other than the History Channel's movie. Had nothing but a good reputation back home. But at the end of that History Channel movie, they got him riding off in that buggy, and he'd been flirting with Roseanne, and somebody says, oh, he likes them young. Well, the Scott guy, Colonel Walker Scott, was 24 years old, and she was 15 years old, 15 or just turned 16 when he got her pregnant. So I guess he liked them young, if you want to go by the History Channel's story. The address that Sheila and I went to, of course, it was dark. Again, she'll show you some pictures. She'll show you pictures in the dark and pictures in the light. But the address on this birth certificate is 2036 Pike Street. That's in Ashland, Kentucky. Now, she gave birth in Cincinnati, Ohio to Charlie. But she gave her home address of where she was living before they shipped her to Cincinnati. And how she got there, whether the family, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. We don't
know. Yeah.
So either way, she ended up in Cincinnati, Ohio, gave birth, had Charlie Manson, no name Manson. That's going to be on this plaque here. Now on this plaque here, and she'll show you later on, is it says when Sheila and I first mentioned we were putting Charles Manson and the relation to the McCoys and the Scotts and the Kleins, especially the McCoys, back in the day when we wrote our book, a lot of people, especially McCoys, said, why do you have to put him in there for? Why do you have to put that? Well, you all know how I am. I'm not shy on talking about old devil ants. In fact, down here's Charlie Manson. We got this at the front door. Who is this? And that's actually Charles Manson's head on Devil Ance's monument. Ooh, is that disrespectful? No, Devil Anse was a murderer. Had warrants on him when he went to his grave from Kentucky for murder. So it's not disrespectful. Shouldn't have put that monument up on his grave. That's what's got history confused all these years. But let's don't get sidetracked. But there's Charles Manson. We make a point of saying you could put Charles Manson, a monument like that, up on Charles Manson's grave. And in 150 years, it'd be just like it is today, where people thinks that Devil Anse was this big hero. He was nothing but a Charles Manson before Charles Manson, manipulator. So we went ahead and we put a story in our book, a chapter in our book on Charles Manson and his relationship to the Pike County Scotts, Pike County McCoys, Pike County Kleins. And we're going to show you a picture of that. It's so hard for genealogy to figure all this stuff out. But the best we can figure it out, John McCoy was the son of William McCoy. Mm-hmm. John McCoy was the brother to Samuel McCoy, Daniel McCoy. They were all three brothers. Right. Now Samuel McCoy's my line. He's the son of William, and Samuel had Uriah. He had Sarah, which married Randall, Asa, Alan, different children Samuel had. That's my line. Over here on Randall's line, Daniel McCoy had Randall, and he had Asa. Had other kids, but that's the two. Asa was the first one killed, and Randall was Sarah's husband. He married his first cousin, Sarah McCoy, Samuel's daughter. On over here from Samuel is John. And down John's line, John had a daughter named Elizabeth. And Elizabeth married Peter Klein. Peter Klein was the son of Rich Jake Klein, and he was the brother to Perry Klein. Now, she will correct me after a while. Sometimes my mouth outruns my brains, and I think in one of the clips I'm identifying him as Perry Klein. Not Perry Klein, Peter Klein. And he was the brother to Perry Klein, but she'll correct that at the bottom of the screen, hopefully. Now, Sheila will help me here in this part, but Elizabeth and Perry Klein had a son
called Colonel Calvin Klein.
Colonel Calvin Klein. Now, we haven't done the research. Did Colonel Calvin Klein come up with his name? They did the same way they did for Colonel Walker Scott? Or was he actually in the Civil War or actually attained that rank in the military? We don't know. And it's not that interesting for us to go back and look at that. We've got so much research. We're getting so many emails and text messages and sending us stuff. And we're almost, I don't want to say it, but we're almost through with this Hatfield-McCoy. We're retired, and we're wanting to enjoy life a little bit, just relax. And you all can tell how stressed I get, and because I get into this. You know, I said it the other day, but I'll say it again. These people's had 20 some years to spread rumors and bad information, and they've had Pike County tourism backing them. They've got some backing. They've got people that, and you see that platform for the Pike County tourism, and you think, oh, it's got to be real. It's got to be true. Just like the historical markers. Oh, it's on a historical marker. It's got to be true. No, it don't got to be. So it's hard catching up over the last 20 years and setting the record straight. And maybe we'll probably never catch up, because it just seems like we're just never going to catch up. And it's okay. I'm going to have to realize that. Exactly. And accept it and say, maybe somebody will come along after me and Sheila. Maybe somebody will pick up when we stop and say, hey, we're going to start questioning these things that these people say. So let's go on with our, guess there's one in every family. The difference in the Hatfields family is there's a hero. You know, when we was talking about the Charles Manson story, and people was asking us not to put Charlie Manson in there related to the McCoys. But he's not only related to the McCoys, he's related to the Pike County Scotts, Pike County Kleins. But the difference in what we do is we tell about Charles Manson, his history, and one bad in every family, and all black sheep. And they didn't do that on Devil Ance's side. They made a hero out of Devil Answers. I don't know if you guys can see me or not.
Yeah, I can still see you.
We
It's just a little bit
we have
dark.
a light or something. It gets hot and goes out, and I should have picked a better spot to video. So we're not going to make. We're not going to call ours a hero. We'll call Charlie Manson what he was, a demon. And again, going back to John McCoy's family, John, Samuel, and Daniel, the brothers, Charlie Manson's line is not from Samuel or even Daniel's line. It is over here from John McCoy. So John McCoy's line, where he had Elizabeth, Elizabeth and Klein had Calvin, Colonel Calvin Klein. Colonel Calvin Klein had a daughter named Gladys. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Had a daughter named Gladys, and Gladys married a Henderson Walker Scott.
Right.
And Henderson Walker Scott and Gladys had
Charlie's dad. Yeah.
Colonel Walker Scott. Now again, I know I may have said this before, and she'll show this after a while, but Colonel Walker Scott, Charlie Manson's father, was not a colonel in the military. He was not even in the military. They named him that. That was his name, Colonel. So don't mistake that for somebody that's been in the military. But Colonel Walker Scott got Kathleen Maddox pregnant. She filed a suit, a paternity suit against him. Back then, I think it was called a bastardly suit. And he agreed to pay her in 1937. He agreed to pay her child support stuff. He never did. Never paid her nothing. And of course, he died in, I think, 1954. Was his death day.
Yeah, I think it was. I think that's his death certificate.
Well, she's going to show his tombstone. We were at his grave a couple of days ago. Last night. Wasn't a couple, I'm confused. A couple of days ago, we was up in Knott County.
Yeah.
So, but that is the Scott that was born and raised in Pike County. And that's how the Scott relation comes in all over Pike County. Because everybody, Pike County, remember guys, back in the early days, especially the early days, you got around by horse and buggy or horseback. Ain't like you can go out and jump in the Mustang and take off down the road to court your woman 2 or 3 counties over. Mustang you got on was probably a horse. So a lot of these people that married were within 20, 30, 40 miles of each other. They couldn't go out and travel a long way to go court. So you courted what was available, what was around you. And so that's how the Scotts, the McCoys, the Kleins, all these people got intertwined with Charlie Manson. Now, Charles Manson was born November 12, 1934, unmarried 16-year-old Kathleen Maddox, General Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio, and was first named no name Maddox. Within a couple of weeks, she had met and married Charles Manson, and Charles let her give her son. She let her call him Charles or Charlie Manson. That's where he got his name, even though he's no blood relation to them. 5'2". It's been said that Charlie was anywhere from 5'2" to 5'4". Remember, Devil Lance Hatfield was only 5'6". I'm only 5'7". I'm not putting down a man's height. I'm a small fella myself. The difference in these guys, and I know it may not sound like it with these videos that I make, but I've put these videos off for so many years, and all this is built up. And when you see these people that don't even know the history, these people are not from back home. These people that I talk about a lot, I talk about them because these are not Hatfields and McCoys from back home. These are not West Virginia or even Kentucky Hatfields and McCoys. These are from other states that come in here to promote a Hatfield-McCoy tourism thing. The local people get along, love each other. The feud is the farthest thing from our minds, the local people. It's the people that come in here or come back home and act like they're wanting peace, but yet they file lawsuits against the people back home for their lands because they've got a McCoy graveyard on it. How is that? How can you have that person representing your tourism company when they filed a lawsuit? Or was that in somebody else's interest that they got talked into doing that? Maybe someday we'll find out. Maybe somebody persuaded them. I don't know. I'm speculating again. But they filed a lawsuit over a man's graveyard. Another man comes in at a historical marker, helps them write the historical markers up, gives them the information, and says they was big friends with Sally McCoy, and Jim McCoy was a peacemaker and all that. And we've got proof that says otherwise. So you speak this stuff into history, and these other people from California to New York or around the world that reads about the Hatfields and McCoys think has to be true. They're a Hatfield, they're a McCoy. They're just because you've got that name. And again, I think it should be, and I know I'm drifting, and I don't care.
Okay.
If you get tired of the video or something, I guess you just have to go watch another one. I hope you don't. She's motioning for me. I'm not saying that in a rude way. I get in so big a hurry sometimes that I talk fast, I talk loud, and I get mad, and that's because I'm rushed. I'm trying to make these short videos because I know people don't like to watch long videos. Now I've lost my point of thought, so I'll just go on. That little cut mark sometimes throws me off, so I guess she gets what she wants in the long run, because I was probably going to comment on something. She's going to make some videos here, some pictures. You can just skim over that. You might have to wait to do it in the light in there when the light comes back on. And if anybody's got any genealogy information, we've contacted a couple of people that we know, and Hatfield-McCoy historians, or at least we think they are. We think they know more than a lot of these people that come in here and act like they know. And I won't mention their names. I have in the past on other videos and stuff, some of the people that we turn to and we rely on a whole lot more than we do. You know, I've got it's in there on my phone. I was looking through some old emails, messages, text messages a while back, and in 2020 or 2021, I wrote a guy that had moved to the area, and he was all of a sudden going to be a historian. I wrote and asked him if he knew this fella here, and he said, "No, I don't believe I do." I said, "You know his dad?" He said, "No, I don't think so." His dad is actually his uncle, and the other guy I was asking about would be his cousin. He didn't know him. He'd moved in here from another state, and all of a sudden going up. But he didn't know him. He didn't know his cousin or his uncle. I find that hard. That's like Ron McCoy did, 35 years old. That's the kind of people, you know, I seen the other day on, and I'm going to do a story on it. I will do a video, but I seen on Pike County Tourism where they've now got this guy as one of their advisors. I did see that, along with another fellow that we just done a video on. They've got them as their advisors. Said these are the people that we go to, the people that signs peace treaties. People that signed peace treaties was Jim McCoy and Dennis Hatfield. Jim McCoy, another Jim McCoy, James McCoy, and Willis Hatfield. That's your peace treaties. Not these things that come up in 2002 just to have a publicity stunt to get you on TV, get you known. Sad. So sad. And I know I go back to this stuff as we're on Charles Wring My Neck, and this probably won't even end up in it. She'll probably snip it. We'll see. Guys, we're going to continue on our journey now. We're getting ready to start with the videos from Ashland, Kentucky.
Right.
And she'll finish that up and finish this video. Once again, if you're ever in Pike County, you run into any McCoys, Scotts, Kleins, and possibly even Hatfields. This would have been probably Kentucky Hatfields, if there's any relation there to Charlie from that part. And again, we are not genealogists, and we're telling you right off the bat, don't take what we're saying here as solid as some of the things that we report on, because genealogy is a hard thing to track down. And
yep.
Sheila's going to continue on the video from here. Sheila, you got anything? Did you have a good time during this video? Going places?
It wore me out. Like I said, it was a long trip, hard trip. We was hoping to get there so we could show you all the graves and stuff, but
yeah,
unfortunately,
Yeah. Well, we
didn't make
stopped
any time.
at the end of the video. You'll see where we did stop, and it's nighttime. And in fact, you'll see us when we're coming back through Lexington about 2:30 in the morning, showing where we was at. So it was a long trip. Been a long 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
We've been on this story for about a week or so now. Just watching other videos on Charles Manson and different things.
Researching, yeah.
Researching, because before we always gave the history of just Charles Manson and his relationship to the Scotts, the McCoys, the Kleins, and again, possibly the Hatfields. But this time we went in depth and we took you to Hindman. Now, Hindman is in between Pike County and Hazard, or Pike County and where we're from. So we have to go right by Hindman to go home when we're going to Pike County. It's just a 15-minute detour,
Right.
to go up here to the Blue Moon Cafe to see where Charles was raised when he's 5, 6,
5 or 6,
7,
yeah.
8 years old, whatever he was.
I think he was between the ages 5 and 6.
Okay. And other than that,
Okay, we'll try to find pictures of, I would like to try to find pictures of the actual Blue Moon Cafe and try to insert them in the video as well. Hopefully
guys,
I can find them.
That's great, Sheila.
If I can't, sorry.
That is great. Guys, there's all kinds of videos, there's all kinds of pictures of that Blue Moon Cafe like it is today, or like it has been for the last 10, 20 years. There's got to be somebody's family out there back in the day that had videos or pictures of that place back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. It'd be interesting to see. That's great, Sheila. That's
Yeah,
a good.
I would like to see what it looked like.
I would too.
As far as that
That
goes.
would be. I hadn't even thought about that, but that'd be very interesting.
I think so, but
If anybody's got any videos or pictures of the Blue Moon Cafe in Hyman, Kentucky, well, between Hyman and Mousy,
Mousy, yeah.
Kentucky. What is that, Jones Mountain or
Jones Fork
Jones
says
Fork?
you get there before you turn.
Mountain? It's right
go
on
to
top
Jones
of the
Fork.
mountain.
Yeah.
When you top over, it's right there at you.
Yep.
All right, you
miss
can
it.
continue on with your video.
Okay. Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening. It's kind of chilly out. You may remember this historical sign. This is the grave of Jim McCoy. On the backside is Floyd McCoy. We're at Catlettsburg Cemetery. We came here before to do a story on these two. However, across the road, across the yard over here, the cemetery, is Colonel Henderson, Walker Henderson Scott. I'll get it right. And he is the father to the famous, infamous Charles Manson. Okay? Just a walk away from sign to sign.
We were here a few months back doing a story on when they dedicated this marker and how fictitious the marker is and how it's not correct in no manner. But anyway, while we were here, we didn't realize that right over where Sheila's talking about and pointing to is where we're going to here in a second. And that is that on this same cemetery, not only on this same cemetery, right there's the flagpole to give you some triangulation if you want to know the directions. So you come down through here to Jim McCoy historical marker, go down through there to where Sheila's at, and it's getting dark on us, guys. We've been traveling, been doing stories all day.
Yes.
Goodness sakes, this journalism stuff will get to you.
Yes.
What you got, Sheila?
Well, here is his uncle, and over here is his dad.
Colonel Walker Scott, 1910, 1954. And that is the father to
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson. Colonel Walker Scott from Pike County, born in Pike County. Of course, there's Scotts, Hatfields, and McCoys. That's the names in Pike County, Kentucky. And that's where he was born. And Colonel Walker, now understand, Colonel had nothing to do with the military.
No. It was just his name that they had given him. I was trying to think. Gladys.
is the daughter of Henderson,
Yeah.
which was his father.
Right.
And Gladys's dad Gladys was actually a Klein.
Yes. Her dad was Colonel
Yeah.
Calvin Klein.
Colonel Calvin Klein, and he was the son of Peter Klein
Peter, yeah.
and Elizabeth McCoy. Exactly. And that's Gladys. That
Peter was he was the brother
to Perry Klein,
Perry.
and the son of Rich Jake.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Rich Jake was his name, and then he had a son named Jacob also.
Yeah.
That was Perry and Peter's. Now, so there is Scott.
Scott Walker.
Colonel Walker Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And here is his brother, Darwin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people is not going to recognize that name or be familiar with that. Sheila and I are nowhere close to being even slightly intelligent to the part of Charles Manson and his history, and but we have been studying a little bit here lately, and evidently Darwin is the brother to Colonel Walker Scott.
Right.
That was his brother, and about 2 or 3 weeks before Charles Manson went on the killing rampage, well, Charles Manson didn't do it, his people done it. You know, Charles Manson, I've said it before in another video, Charles Manson's like Devil Anse Hatfield. He killed a bunch of people and never killed nobody. Now that's hard to believe, and when you say that, listen to the words. Killed a bunch of people, but never killed nobody. And that's Devil Anse. Devil Anse was always sick, always at home, or always putting somebody else up to something, and that's exactly what Charlie did. But Darwin was Charlie Manson's uncle.
Right.
And just a few weeks before Charlie went to Los Angeles and wreaked havoc out there,
Right.
this guy here was stabbed to death, stabbed over 19 times, and stabbed to the floor.
Yeah,
Evidently, the stories.
Floor, yeah.
We have nothing to go on except stories, and we don't want to be the people that we have to correct ourselves and say, well, we said this or we said that. We're telling you right up front, what we're telling you is just stuff that we read on the internet, and it could or could not be true as far as that part. What we wanted to show you all today is, there's the flagpole, and from the flagpole there's the historical marker, and I could throw a baseball.
Yeah.
And I don't have a good throwing arm, but I could throw a baseball and hit that sign.
Well, they're buried in front of Bean.
Bean is behind it, Kilgore, Clay.
Yep.
But
This tree.
guys, it's getting dark. We've got several other places to get to. Well, like I said, we're running behind, and but we're going to try to take you to where Charlie Manson's grandparents lived when he went to live with them.
Yep.
We're going to try to take you to
Darwin.
his residence.
Right. Where he was murdered.
We're going to try to take you to Kathleen Maddox. That is Charlie Manson's mother.
Right.
We're going to try to take you to her family's grave. Now, she's buried elsewhere.
Right.
But her family, Charlie Manson's grandparents, are actually the Maddoxes, are buried at another cemetery close by. So we're going to get started. The sun is setting.
Yes.
And you know, when you're in the mountains, when that sun starts going down, it don't take it long, once it drops behind the mountain, for it to get completely dark.
Hey, so we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you at the next location.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Y'all, they changed the color, didn't they?
Yeah. Used to be pink. Guys, this is the house that Charlie Manson's grandparents lived in. This is where he come to live.
Yeah.
What's the address there?
I can't see it.
13 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the house. And at one time it was pink. And we're on 22nd Street and Hilton Avenue. And of course, this is where his grandparents lived.
Yep, that's it.
Where he come to live. Now, it's got dark on us.
Yeah.
It ain't much of a picture for you. There's a whole lot better videos out there
Yeah.
for you to see than what Sheila and I are doing as far as the location.
Well, that still could be pink. Look at the sides of it there.
Who?
Is that pink or beige?
Looks like it's a beige or a gray.
Uh-huh.
And it could be where it's dark right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where we're at. We're in Ashland, Kentucky. Video, and you'll see them as you go through it. This is going to be a collage of videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing like we had planned on doing, but you get to see it.
That's right.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Hey guys, we've let it get dark on us. We're at 612 Pollard Road, Pollard. And on the right here, Sheila's got 612 Pollard Road. That's an apartment, and that was Charlie Manson's uncle. And that's where he was stabbed to death 19 times and killed back in 1969. He's buried up there beside of Colonel Walker Scott. And we'll proceed on to the next location. Hey guys, we're finishing up in Ashland, Kentucky. Sheila and I has been up here most of the day. We got a late start. I had a doctor's appointment earlier today for my back, and we didn't get out till late and started to wait till tomorrow. Wish we would have, where everything would have been daylight, but we forgot about being in the mountains, and we forgot about time changing, and instead of 6 o'clock, it gets dark here at 5 o'clock now. I got stopped by the police a few minutes ago, and the cop asked me if I had any ID. I said, about what? Asked me for my driver's license. I told him I can get them or my billfold, but I got a gun on my side, and he said, go ahead. Asked me what kind of gun. I told him I had a Glock 40. Gave him my driver's license. He wanted my insurance. I said, it's in the glove compartment, but I've got a 357 Smith & Wesson in there. He said, go ahead and get it. And then he asked me for my registration and my insurance, and I said, it's in my console, but I've got a 44 in there. He said, well, go ahead and get it. He said, man, what in the world are you afraid of? I said, not a damn thing. Okay, guys, listen, back to a more serious part. Sheila and I, let me get Sheila.
No.
Let me put her on the serious part. No. On a serious note, we let it get dark on us, didn't we, babe?
Yes, we did.
We're still in Ashland. It's what you would call rush hour up here, which isn't much of a rush hour compared to Atlanta and some of these other places.
Right.
We've been doing a story on Charlie Manson.
Charlie Manson.
And his home place living in Kentucky at one time. His relations to the Pike County Scotts, Pike County McCoys. And we was talking to some people today, and there may be even some Hatfield further on down the line relation in there. Very possibly could be. I don't know that it would be connected to Charlie necessarily. I think Charlie would have come along before the Hatfield bloodline would have connected. Yeah. We, of course, we've established. We put a chart up. Sheila, have it at the end of the video with his genealogy, where he is connected to the McCoys and the Scotts. And it's a rather interesting video. Join in anytime, help me.
It's a wild ride.
We went to Knott County. We started off in Knott County at Blue Moon Cafe or Brothel, where he grew up as a kid. I think you're going to show some pictures when he was a kid. Listen, we're not by no means glamorizing Charlie Manson. You know, the more that we've researched him now, I realize we all know Charlie Manson was a sick mind. We know that. But the more we research him, we find out that may have been a reason for that, and that was his upbringing, abuse, no attention. You know,
there was a lot of contributing factors.
Yeah, for sure.
Made him the way he was.
Yeah, he was like a wild animal, and sad that somewhere along the line, I don't know. Plus, I think he had little man syndrome. I think he was, you know, I compare him a lot to Devil Anse, but again, I think him and Devil Anse had a lot in common. A little man syndrome, intimidation, influencing, instigating. Now, buddy, those two knew how to knew how to get stuff done without even doing it. But to beat it all, what fascinated Sheila and I was the fact that we was just up here a few months ago, but yet
Yeah. Didn't have a clue on that.
didn't have a clue he was buried right next to Jim McCoy and Floyd McCoy, or right near them.
Right. Just walk straight across to him.
We, Ashland here is beautiful.
Yeah.
They had some Christmas decorations. I don't know what street we were on then, but they've got the prettiest Christmas decorations already up in a park. And we started to spend the night here. We started at Huntington's right up the road. So I'm just full of it. I'll be here all week. Yeah. Actually, we're out of things to report on. We're at some kind of a little school or church or something here, library, and we just seen a place that was lit up. Thought we'd just pull over and finish up this video.
Yeah.
And she will get home and put it together, and then she will have it out sometime next week, and we'll see how it goes.
All right. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Alrighty.